I don't know if this is just a console edition problem, as I'm new to PC and haven't really played multiplayer outside my friend group, but so many people have terrible Empire names. If you are playing as a sci-fi based empire, like the Galactic Empire from Star Wars, okay, you didn't make the name, but what's with all these poorly crafted, custom-made empire names? What mistakes are people making? Well, let's talk about these mistakes and how to fix them. Mistake 1, and the easiest one to fix, is not capitalizing your empire name, especially the first word. I see this so often, and it's such a stupid mistake. That is like not capitalizing the U and K in the United Kingdom. The only words that shouldn't be capitalized are words like of and the. Even those words should be capitalized when they start your empire's name. When you don't capitalize your empire properly, it just looks poorly thought out. Mistake 2 is putting your species name in the empire name. There are some great empire names in both sci-fi and Stellaris I've seen that have done this, but it has been done to death and doesn't match the real world. Every nation on the planet is named after their geographical location. Try to name more empires off of planets, astrological bodies, or important figures you think up from your empire's history. Mistake 3 is simply the abuse of alliteration. I understand why people do, I sure did with my first empires. But simply put, when you don't have an idea, latching onto a letter and rattling off words that start with that letter feels like a decent enough strategy. But it just sounds tacky in the end. Just take some time, think about what you want your empire to be. Think about the topic and rattle off words related to it. Eventually something will stick that sounds original and colorful. The final mistake, and the hardest to fix as it requires the simple use of a thesaurus, is using the same overused words every time. The amount of insert species union or insert species empire I've seen is insane. Use a thesaurus. There are better words. Your empire won't sound like a Mad Lib's gone wrong. If you take 3 seconds to find a less used word, your empire will sound vastly better if you do. Now, if you only want to know what mistakes people are making, then click off the video and try to fix these mistakes in your own empires. But if you would like to see some examples of what applying these to empires results in, stick around. To start, let's apply these fixes to a spiritual empire I've seen called the Holy Hussam Covenant. This name isn't terrible, but it can be better. Simply think up a name for a religious leader, prophet, or holy site. In this case, I'll use Rothnak as a prophet's name. If this is an empire built around the teaching of Rothnak, then this empire would be comprised of Rothnak's followers. When I think of follower, I think of words like acolyte, congregation, gathering, companions, flock, assembly, etc. In this case, I'll use congregation as it fits a prophet well. Put the two together, and you get the congregation of Rothnak. Personally, I feel like that has more color and life to it than the Holy Hussam Covenant. I'll do one more quick empire fix, specifically of the Human Space Company, which is a megacorp clearly. This is a completely cookie-cutter milquetoast empire name, and is in desperate need of a fix. Let's do something similar to how we started the Spiritualist empire name. If this is a megacorp that came from Earth, then what companies currently are well known and expanding enough to be believable that they could become a megacorp and a spacefaring one to boot? I think of companies like Microsoft, SpaceX, and Amazon. SpaceX has a main focus on space travel, and Amazon's founder owns Blue Origin, so they are both good companies to think on. SpaceX CEO also owns a ton of tech companies, many dealing in futuristic tech. So, if they all merge together into one company, I could see a megacorp similar to Weyland Yutani from Alien. So let's take Elon Musk and try and use his name. Now, what are some good words related to corporations, but fit Elon's companies, and isn't overused? I think of words like manufacturing, consulting, industries, and contractors. In this case, I think Elon Industries sounds way better than the rest. And there you go, you have an empire name. We went from the Human Space Company to Elon Industries. Now there is a history and flavor behind a name, not just a string of words. Just take a few more seconds when making your empire to make a good name. No one is going to get deep into a playthrough for the Great Human Union.